Ancient empires didn't rule because people loved them. They ruled because people were afraid. Welcome to the museum. You're standing in a public square. Rome, Paris, Kyoto, London, the location changes, the architecture changes. But the scene is always the same. A raised platform, a crowd that didn't choose to be there, and one person about to die in front of everyone. This wasn't cruelty for its own sake, it was communication. Most punishments happen in private. A fine, imprisonment, banishment. But execution was made public on purpose, because the point wasn't just to kill one person, the point was to teach a lesson to everyone watching. Ancient Rome understood this perfectly. They didn't hide their condemned, they displayed them. On roads leading into the city, in the forum where thousands gathered. After the revolt of Spartacus, crucifixions lined the Via Appia, thousands of crosses stretching for miles. Not because Rome needed to kill thousands of men, but because Rome needed millions to see what rebellion cost. The execution itself lasted hours, but the fear it created lasted generations. Here's what most people misunderstand. Public executions weren't just about the person dying. They were about the people watching. In medieval Europe, executions were scheduled events. Entire towns gathered. Children were brought by their parents. Not because people were monsters, but because attendance was expected. The king didn't ask if you wanted to watch. Your presence was part of the lesson. When you witness violence sanctioned by authority, something changes inside you. Psychologists call it fear conditioning. You learn without words that the state holds absolute power over life and death. You learn that defiance has a visible, irreversible cost. You learn when to stay silent. And that silence is what empires were built on. These weren't just deaths, they were performances. In feudal Japan, executions followed strict ritual. The condemned knelt. The executioner stood elevated. Witnesses were arranged by rank. Every detail was designed to communicate hierarchy, to show that order, not chaos, governed even death itself. In imperial China, public executions reinforced the emperor's mandate from heaven. The executioner didn't act on personal anger. He acted as an instrument of cosmic order. The crowd didn't see murder. They saw the universe correcting itself. The condemned played a role too. Some were paraded through streets. Some were forced to wear signs describing their crime. Their humiliation was part of the message, because the lesson wasn't just that this person broke the law, it was that this could be you. One execution could control a city. One public death could silence 10,000 potential rebels. Because fear doesn't require constant violence, it requires a demonstration. A single, undeniable proof that the threat is real. After that, the mind does the rest. You didn't need to punish everyone who stole bread. You punished one thief in the square, and thousands of hungry people reconsidered. You didn't need to execute every conspirator. You executed one leader in front of the court, and ambition learned its limits. This is why empires loved public executions. They were efficient, cheap, and scalable. The body on the platform wasn't just a person anymore, it was a warning. After the execution ended, the crowd dispersed. They returned to their homes, their markets, their routines. But something traveled with them. A memory they couldn't unsee. A lesson they couldn't unlearn. A boundary they now understood without anyone speaking it aloud. This is how fear becomes culture. Not through constant terror, but through moments so vivid, so public, so irreversible, that they reshape how a society understands power. Many children who watched executions grew into adults who learned not to question authority. Not because they agreed with it, but because they remembered what happened to those who didn't. And once you understand this, you start to notice how modern power still uses the same logic, just with different tools. Ancient empires didn't need everyone to love them. They didn't even need most people to agree with them. They just needed everyone to believe that resistance was futile. The executions have stopped. The empires have fallen. But the lesson remains. Fear doesn't need to be constant. It just needs to be remembered.